Originally in English, January 2024. Conversation with Athena Swaruu. My video declaration to the dark forces I just made wasn't for the Federation itself only, but to all the dark forces out there. If you look at all the problem from afar as a whole, then the Federation is clearly not doing its job and does deserve to be bashed. But anyhow, it should be aimed against whatever is generating the dark forces, as they cannot be there existing for themselves. Someone or something is generating them, and that is what must be targeted. The problem is that something or someone is not entirely bad, because if it would be, then it wouldn't be able to generate the dark forces in the first place. And what is generating them exactly? And don't say all of us, humans and Lyrians. What else deeper than that? Then, as it looks to be, the ones who are causing all that are the people themselves, on Earth and up here together. That would explain the lack of accountability. Yes, but how are they all causing it? You know, as an egregor manifestation of their dark sides and thoughts. Why do Lyrians have dark thoughts? By focusing on them, by giving all that attention, by acting in fear. Why would there be a dark thought in the first place in a non-dark environment and mindset who knows no evil at all? Why do Lyrians have dark thoughts? Because we all live in duality, but some generate darker thoughts than others. You can know the dark, but not act upon it. Therefore, you create the necessary contrast to develop the opposite, the light, without manifesting the dark. How do you get rid of the dark practically for the immediate effect? That is the great question no one can answer. This ties in with the question I had. Anneka talked about other planets that knew no evil, lived in peace, didn't have weapons, and they got invaded. They didn't focus on anything dark and it still got them. How? Oh yes, those pre-industrial bunnies. Because they became compatible with that. Again, complicated. Because this goes into the direction of the old question, why do bad things happen to good people? Yes, they were of super high frequencies. They were not focusing on anything, barely knew of evil. Because they didn't do what I just said. They focused only on the positive without knowing the dark. So they were blind to it. There is another example. There was this guru who taught his people not to look at anything evil at all. And one day, one of them slipped and broke a leg, and all the others ignored his or her pleas. And, as I understand, even died unattended. That's why people should know the dark, but also know how to keep it at bay. That's why Mari talks about the lower astral so much, because people fall prey to things in it simply because they don't know it exists. That makes them compatible with being exploited, because the people deny the lower astral even exists. And this is very convenient for everything in it who wants to exploit humans. Everything is astral. Everything is one mass, one range of vibration frequencies. And each consciousness can only see whatever is in its range of perception, and that depends on its thoughts and emotions. Well, yes, that's why I don't understand why those pre-industrial bunnies became compatible to see what was not in the range of their perception, thoughts, and emotions. Because in spite of being so positive, they failed to watch their backs. They did not follow the rule, be kind and nice, but carry a big stick. Or as Yazhi says, I am the creature of the night that scares monsters away. The real merit is in those who, knowing that they are monsters, choose not to be and become light beings. Yes, the pre-industrial bunnies were accessed quite directly by the invaders. That's why I feel it's not so simple as keep the high frequency and the evil won't get you. It sure is a good protection, but stuff can still happen. And being aware of a danger is not the same as being afraid of the danger. That's right. It is not as simple as simply ignoring all evil. Plus, even though they were isolated, there is still a collective Lyrian and non-Lyrian field. So I am afraid you can still be gotten by some manifestations of the inhabitants of that portion of the galaxy. We are all one being. Yes. Original in English, March 2024. Conversation with Yazhi Swaruu. Yazhi, Aneka was describing a faraway planet some time ago, Kepler or something, where everyone was of high frequency and didn't see any dangers coming, so they were not prepared and got taken over. Some people might ask, how is it that you create the invaders in your reality if you don't see them and are living of very high frequency? How did they manifest that? How the heck did they become a match to that? Because it is said you are always a match to the exterior reality. One thing that is a fact about that situation and all the other similar ones, they indeed were compatible in vibration with that event. Kepler 598, if I recall correctly, is a planet in physicality, in the material world, although there isn't such thing. But my point is that it's in the same realm as everything physical, like Earth, for example. They were in an ostrich mentality when there was a clear danger. Again, as happens on Earth, thinking that your vibration alone will protect you will probably get you mugged or killed. The point of being alive in physicality is to equal the existential frequencies of all the beings who are also using a biological suit to be able to share the same realm, like a human body, which is a biosuit, not a species as such, Lyrians, I mean. But was there clear danger? They knew there could be some and just ignored it, or they were completely unaware of it. I don't know the story in detail, but I am quite sure there were plenty of warnings before they got invaded. And apart from that, how were they compatible exactly? You mean just by being in the physical? Yes, just because they are in the physical, that is what being in the physical is for. Because if you are your true complete vibration, who you truly are, then you are untouchable. But then you are a light being, and you are not having an experience in physicality. Still, some people in the physical live peaceful lives, others in violence. So there is a huge range of experiences you can manifest. Yes. Nevertheless, your vibration is what still makes you compatible with one or another event. Yes. Yet on Earth, and in physicality, there are other factors, like your unconscious, which is basically all what you have been before, and that can arise to give you problems, making you compatible with bad things when you thought you were not. Well, that's my point. Their vibration was supposedly super high, living in total harmony and contentment. I wonder what their unconscious was then. Yes, because evidently they were not in such a high vibration because, as I said above, they were still in physicality and not in higher light being realms. But if it's your unconscious that mostly manifests, then what's the point of having a high vibration now if your unconscious can override that? It's complicated. Because you can override your unconscious. How? You must think in such a way that you can function in both ways. You can hold as high a vibration as you can and carry a gun for protection. But I know many people in the New Age community say that you cannot protect yourself from evil things without creating those evil things you are protecting yourself from. But that is more of a light being thinking or thought. Because in practice, in your real life on Earth and on other planets like it, things are not so easy. There is a story which I like. There was once some New Age guru who was preaching at his crowd, and he was saying that they must never look at negativity, and that they must train themselves to be blind at all things bad. And then, there, a woman slipped and fell, breaking a leg, and no one helped her, because that would have been looking at negativity, and they even saw her accident as some kind of test to learn not to look at negativity. She died there because she had no help, or so I understand. You can see my point there. Be as positive as possible, but don't be blind to danger and negativity. Another point is that you must be strong enough to know that you can face anything negative that may come your way. So even if it arises, you can solve the problem. And that is not creating the problem. An example of this is an insect screen in your house. If you see mosquitoes as negative, which they are for you, then you would also think you do not manifest them because your vibration ought to be high enough for them not to bother you, and you open your unprotested window. And then they will eat you alive, especially if you live near a swamp. So don't be foolish thinking vibration alone fixes everything as you think it does. In reality, it does. And get that screen and fix the problem. So you faced the problem with no fear, knowing your opponent. Get my point? But you said in reality it does. Because everything is mind. Everything is vibration. What makes things complicated to manage and to understand when you are in the so-called physical world is that there are other vibrational factors that you are not aware of and that play a role in manifesting what you experience. That is the whole point of living in the physical world. To learn how to control all those factors so your mind and consciousness is what determines in full what you live. People are complicated beings. Most of the time, they don't even know what they want, and that's alright. Okay, so how do you override the unconscious? By repetition, and by living the complicated process of knowing yourself. Your unconscious is you, but the unresolved parts you do not wish to look at. So they come up and dictate your fate, as Jung said. He couldn't be more right. I don't want this to be about myself, but that is why I do not fear darkness, my darkness. But if they are unconscious, those other factors, how do you reach them and override them, especially since you don't even remember past lives? It's a long journey. You can reprogram your unconscious, but it takes a lot of time and dedication. Dedication people do not want or have time for. They want everything now, in a 1-minute short video on YouTube. That is not so. It takes lifetimes to reprogram in most cases. And that is why you are alive too, to face all of it, to clean your subconscious.